So I went down to see the movie. I sat down to watch the film.
Yeah.
And I didn't know Shaq was in it.
Okay.
Shaq was there. He's talking about car insurance.
I think you were just watching a commercial, or it might have been before the movie.
No, because there was like a weird. He sang a song. He's talking about
for a great low rate you can get online. Go
see the General.
Go see the General with Buster Keaton.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey guys,
What's
how
up?
you doing? So, welcome to episode 3 of Records and Reels. I'm Richie.
I'm Benjamin.
And today we're going to be discussing one of my favorite short films of all time, The General. I believe this is a my pick.
This is a you pick.
This is a me pick. So, I feel like you can't really discuss the origins of comedy without discussing the great stone face, Buster Keaton. So I propose a challenge for us to do this whole review completely serious as possible without making sure to laugh.
This will not go well. All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's try it. Ready? All right. All right. So, The General by Buster Keaton is it's a film.
It's a film from 1927.
I can't do it. We're already both broke, so that's not gonna work.
I told you it wasn't gonna go well.
So from 1927, follows a man by the name of Johnny Gray.
Johnny Gray
and his betrothed, I should say.
And it follows Johnny's trials and tribulations through the Civil War.
Especially in the South, and he wants to fight for the Confederacy, but he's not allowed to.
An interesting, a very rare pro-Confederacy Civil War film.
Yep. Would you say it's pro-Confederacy? Or would you say, or do they just use it as a backdrop to show
I'd say they
train robbery?
Because he is the hero of the South, if you will.
Kinda, yep. So he's there with his betrothed, and I think it was her family just decides, let's all go.
The war is declared.
Yes. And everybody goes to the recruiting station to go do it, and I feel like this movie would have just ended if he actually went to her and said, they need me more here.
Yeah, no, why didn't you just say that?
Because
writing script notes.
Right, just being because, they tell him that he cannot be part of the...
He's a train engineer.
Yeah, he's a train engineer.
So he's too valuable to them
because they need him to be transporting and supporting the troops, I should say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For the Western and Atlantic Railroad.
But this gold digger girlfriend of his only wants a man in uniform. So he tries his best to try to make it.
So you better go force yourself into that war.
You better go try to die for me.
I really like, there's a good aesthetic to this film. We're talking about title cards the past couple weeks. Mm-hmm. With the silent films, these are all wood grain title cards.
They are, yes.
They look like they're on a plank of wood. Mm-hmm. It gives it that rustic feel.
That kind of southern, going whistling Dixie.
And the version I watched looked really, it wasn't so much black and white as it was sepia.
Sepia, yep. Yeah, that's kind of mostly what you'll see, especially in that film, and almost any Buster Keaton film. He does a lot of sepia stuff. Him and when he does a lot of work with was it Jack Bunny? No.
Mickey Mouse.
No, the bigger guy.
Goofy.
I forget it. No, he would do these films with
Fatty Arbuckle.
That's who it is, Fatty Arbuckle. Yes. Thank you for finally getting me out of there. So most of those films are in a sepia tone.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's just from restoration processes and stuff like that. But so Buster Keaton, the old stone face, he can do comedy so well because he's so serious about it, but he still has a sense of humor.
That's true.
That's what I really love about Buster Keaton is he can still make you laugh without him trying to be all zany and kooky.
Exactly. He's a very he's chivalrous.
Exactly, and I always compare him to Charlie Chaplin because Charlie Chaplin is very emotive and very. His face is the comedy, whereas Buster Keaton, the setting and the scene is the comedy. It's a very mise en place. Mise en place.
Them film school term.
No, that's a culinary term.
Mise en scène.
Mise en scène is the one. Yeah.
So the other week I called Charlie Chaplin chaotic good, or neutral good with chaotic good tones.
Yep.
I would say, we're always going to do this.
Yeah, let's do it.
But I would say that Buster Keaton is lawful good.
Lawful
good. The most boring, but he still gets the job. Yep. He has a strict code of ethics.
Yep.
Even when he loses his temper, he like tries to pull it back to make sure he's like following his MO.
I would say he's more of a chaotic neutral. So, kind of personality-wise, everything kind of bad happens, and he has to deal with it, and sometimes he deals with it in ridiculous ways, but he stays neutral about it because he's just very serious about it and everything. So,
would that make him chaotic neutral, or would that make the situation around him chaotic neutral? Is he true neutral?
I think
chaos
he could be true neutral with so he could be a
yes, because I feel like if he was on the northern side, he would fight for the northern side.
Exactly, I feel like he would have. I feel like he still would have been regardless if it was North or South or whoever. So that's why I feel like I don't feel this film is a pro Confederacy film. Yeah, because if you were to just say, oh, it's the North, it would have been the same thing, Savior of the North kind of thing.
That's true.
Yeah, I think they made it the South because it's more of a rural setting. It's not as industrial as the northern part of America at the time. Stuff like that, so
for the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about, like, iconic moments in these
images.
Films.
Yep.
Exactly. So for Charlie Chaplin in Modern Times, he's going through the gears. Mm-hmm. And then for Harold Lloyd with Safety Last, obviously it's him hanging on from the clock. Yep. Does this film have an iconic image? I feel like
it's an amalgamation of a couple iconic images.
Yes.
One of the first big iconic images that you associate really with like the slapstick and silent films is when he's sitting on I forget what that's called, on the train.
Yes.
And it starts moving and starts pulling up and down.
That's what I was going to say.
So that is an iconic image. Also an iconic image is him using the big piece of wood to hit the other piece of wood off the track as he's on the front of the train. And then I'd say the most iconic image of the whole movie is the train falling on the bridge. Yeah. That's your big kind of thing. So I feel like those three elements make that one kind of iconic image.
I'd agree with that. Movie. Well, that leads me to talking about, like, this is such a stunt heavy film.
It is, yep.
There's so many, like, there's explosions and there's destruction of track. And there's just all this nonsense happening. Mm-hmm. He's throwing wood into the truck. Yep. Just all this. It is crazy to see him do all this, especially when he's sitting on the train thing.
The front, yeah.
Because and the front, exactly. Those are, like, can you imagine that? Like, just one slip up and, like...
He suffered a lot of stuff that he kind of, throughout his life. I know there was a film, I don't know if it's in the general, where he's on the water thing for the train. And he pulls on it and he falls down and all the water splashes on him. He actually broke his neck. Yeah. Doing that. The most iconic image of the front of the house facade that falls and he's in the window. Yeah. If you notice, it brushes his arm. He actually broke his the elbow or arm in a couple places there. So yeah, he put his body on the line a lot for his art, I want to say.
Because that's what he is. He is an artist. And there's a scene with a bear trap, which seems like it would hurt a lot.
I feel like with that one they might have even taken precautions, maybe added some rubber or something to it. But
I'm sure.
Yeah, I feel like you wouldn't.
But in real life,
like still, it's a bear trap.
Exactly.
So it hurts.
There's some great. Ouch. There's some great imagery in this film, especially when he's just like. There's one scene early on where he's just on the train and he's like putting wood or like doing something on top and just like troops and scenery are just passing by him.
Let's cut to a quick clip of that.
Here they come, clickety-clack down the track. It's lots and lots of trains.
And that's just beautiful.
It is. I mean, it's something where it's there and it works and it's art and it's clickety-clackety. So.
There's a good tablecloth gag.
There is a great tablecloth gag in the Confederates' house. Is that the general's house or is that
it's a Union house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's right. It is a Union house. Yep.
A burn mark. A cigar burns a hole into a tablecloth, and he uses that hole to see through and see his beloved. Yep. And it's a great shot. And she's perfectly framed, and you're just like, wow, that's amazing to look at. Mm-hmm. I love there's a good title card after they escape from that Union house together. Yes. And they're trapped in the rain all night.
Yep, and they're in the woods kind of.
And the title card reads, "A nice, quiet, refreshing night to sleep." It's just like, all right.
You could tell that they even had humor in the whole thing there.
Exactly.
So, one thing I like to talk about, though, with Buster Keaton is we know that he is great at doing non-emotive humor, but it's really what is happening in the scene around him that makes it so good.
Yeah.
And you see that in a lot of his other movies. The General especially, what's going on in the scene around him is amazing to watch and see. You focus on him, but you see more action happening on the side. But he purposefully made that, because I believe he also directed this film.
I believe so.
Yeah. He takes the camera, and so the whole frame is the gag itself. It's not him, it's not what he's doing, it's not the action, it's the whole frame. So he really makes you see the whole frame as he creates a gag, which I think is also worth mentioning.
I would say
Buster Keaton.
Exactly. He uses the imagery a lot. I have such a clear image of him, like Donkey Kong style, throwing barrels onto the track.
Yes.
And you see them toppling out of the train car. Mm-hmm. You see them about to hit the other train.
Exactly.
And it's all it's all wonderful.
A lot of great, quick visual gags also in this film.
Yeah.
My favorite, as we mentioned, the iconic of him going up and down on the choo-choo. I call it the choo-choo.
The choo-choo part of the train.
Clickety-clackety. So, but yeah, just that iconic kind of scene of just him being depressed, and then all of a sudden, you're not allowed to be with him in that depressive state because of the comedic moment that's happening.
Right.
There. So he never lets you be in his emotion. He never lets you be in his head. He wants you to always be laughing, even if he's not, because when you're laughing, you're rooting for that character.
He's like the blank slate in which
people... A tabula rosin.
Tabula Rosetta Stone.
Bladderin blurrin.
I didn't know a Rosetta Stone was a real thing. I thought it was always...
like the software?
Just the series of software.
No, it's the real thing.
I learned this like 10 years ago that it was a real thing.
Exactly.
I just want to put that out there. For a while, I did not know. There's a scene of questionable morals. We always talk about him being chivalrous.
There's a scene of almost domestic violence in there.
Him and his fiancée, if you will, are having a little spat on the train as they're trying to get away. Tensions are high. It happens. He gets frustrated and starts to choke her. And then just goes in for a kiss. And then there's a victory noise. It's like, it's like, oh. See, this is a Southern film.
This is a Southern film. Yes. Oh, no.
Oh, I can't say that.
All of our Southern viewers out there. All two of you.
Yeah, right. We're just kidding.
Yeah, we like to joke.
Don't do that though.
Exactly. Don't hit anyone, regardless of who it is.
Prove us wrong. The South.
This is a message to the South.
Don't do it.
This is a message. We live in a society.
Have you ever noticed that we live in a society?
Yes.
There's a music theme in here. It's a kind of a repetitive musical score, but it's a good one. It's a triumphant, neutral song, dun, 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 dun.
Exactly, and I feel like it lends itself well to, especially as a train. Trains are percussive and trains are repetitive. You can't sit on a train for the whole time and just be like,
this one.
Bum, 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 bum,
I'm not in Chattanooga.
He's a music man. He's a what? He's a what? He's a music man.
But there's one song in here that kept making me think of a song from The Sound of Music, which is the end of So Long, Farewell. It's when they're like, the sun has gone to bed and so must I. There was that little music kind of little upward thing. And I was like, I know it's just a common theme, I'm assuming, in music. Yeah. It's just it sprung out a couple times, so it was in my head.
Oh, yeah.
I guess we should talk about go a little further into the train bridge collapse.
Exactly.
Into war.
Exactly, yep.
So I feel like when I first watched this film a couple years back, I feel like I got a little lost at the war part. I thought it kind of lost its way a little bit.
Yep.
But I think on this rewatch, you gotta have it. This tension is building the whole time.
Exactly. There has to be this sort of
all-out brawl. Exactly. and all these other characters, meaning the brother and the father of of his soon to be bride, but they need something to pay off. So
exactly, so they have to have this
big old war
climax. Yeah. And I think there's a really cool thing that I think I read about it is they never took the train out of that ravine.
Really?
It stayed there until it just decayed out and was gone.
That's crazy.
So they just kind of left it there. So we love the environment here at Records
Hollywood.
and Reels.
You stupid fucks.
Oh man!
Just leave the train there. That's gonna cost so much money.
It's gonna cost so much money to get it out of there. So
it's funny because I also watched The Wild Bunch recently, and there's a famous bridge collapse scene there where they're on horses and they all just fall into the water, which is insane to see.
Yep.
But a big old train falling into the water, it's not like a waste.
Right? Exactly. Like you have this cool thing, even if it was like a prop train, it's like still it's like big.
It's the equivalent of Buster Keaton being on stage and smashing his guitar into the ground. It's like going out in an explosion.
I could just imagine him being just stone cold.
He just jumps off the train right before it goes.
He's playing with the Who. Roger Daltrey's there singing My Generation. Talking about my gen.
I did it.
Yeah. What's funny though, talking about Buster Keaton, one of my favorite things of Buster Keaton was happened almost right before his death. I don't know if you've ever seen a funny thing happen on the way to the Forum.
I haven't seen the film version of it, but I've seen a live production of it.
So, Buster Keaton is actually in the film. He plays the old man who's looking for his children that wear the same ring as him, and he kind of gets sent out, and it's kind of slapsticky.
He's the Captain Planet of that universe.
Exactly, yep. Mm-hmm. I have the power. What does he say?
No, he says,
I'm Don Cheadle, and that's a College Humor reference.
Keep the environment good.
Keep the faith.
What does he say? He doesn't say I have the power. That's He-Man.
He says, I'm a planet, and...
Captain Planet, he's a hero.
Captain Planet, he is a man.
He is a hero. He is a man.
He is the hero of the planet, and a Manny is a Manny of the planet. His name is Manny. And I am Portuguese too, so I can say it.
I would watch a reboot of Captain Planet with a Buster Keaton impersonator. Or now we have this deepfake technology.
Yeah, we'll do it. Can we do it?
As Captain Planet, he doesn't speak in these roles. So
exactly.
There must be some point when he speaks, right? Maybe?
Well, in the Funny Thing Happened Before Me, he does have some speaking roles there, but yeah, he kind of left with the talkies. So
it's true,
right? You don't see a lot of him after.
We hardly miss you. I'm pretty sure. Didn't this flop? Wasn't this a big flop?
The General was. I don't know if the General was a flop or if it was Sherlock Jr. that was a flop.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel in terms of looking back on it, the General is a masterpiece of a silent film and comedy. The way that he uses everything to make a scene funny is also really big. But I mean, Buster Keaton, in my opinion, he's the king of the gag.
Yeah.
Harold Lloyd can do gags and Charlie Chaplin can do gags, but they do gags in a different way.
Right, exactly.
They do gags where you're focused on the emotion of the person.
Yeah.
Harold Lloyd is famous for his eye rolls and his that kind of, and that's the funniness of him going. But to have no reaction to a scene that's going on and just kind of be with it. One of my favorite little gags in this film is when he's looking at a picture of his beloved and it's the train and his girlfriend's like right there. And it's just a big train. I love one of those gags. He's like, does he love his train more? Is that kind of like a thing that happens?
He's gotta do
it.
He's like Brandy, but not Brandy. He was the sailor.
You're a fine girl.
You're a fine girl. Just one little thing all the way back at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
I'm going to round it off with the beginning of the film. He is followed by some nondescript children from his train to his first meeting with his soon-to-be.
Yep.
Who are those children?
Are they a gammon? Are they gammons? Are they gammons?
They're just kind of there.
They're gammons.
They're war children.
They're war children. Oh.
Hey, the movie said it.
The movie said it. They are war children.
So, I guess let's get into our records part.
Yeah, so I picked a song that kind of fits well with this theme. It's if you ever heard about it, it's called A Short Ride in a Fast Machine. I can't remember the composer off the top of my head, but it is a minimalist piece, and it's very fast-moving kind of piece, and I feel like it really lends itself well to the urgency that this film creates. It works really well. This film, or the piece of music itself, was actually supposed to be written and performed multiple times in London. It was originally supposed to be performed, actually, but Princess Diana passed away. So they felt it was not right to perform a piece called Short Ride in a Fast Machine, respectively. Don't laugh at it. I'm trying to be serious.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's just a poor
thing. And then it was also supposed to be performed again, but then that was after the September 11th attacks.
Oof,
so
shouldn't have laughed.
Kind of both things happened there, and it just did not work well. But the piece itself is a great piece. It shows a really fun, minimalist take at music. Let's cut to a clip.
You'll get big trains, little trains, steam trains, diesel freight and passenger trains, even trains that blow through snow.
It's Princess Diana.
It's the trains again?
That's a good pick.
That is a good pick.
I haven't heard that song until right then, so that's a good one.
That's a good
pick.
And let's cut to a clip of Nathaniel dancing.
My name is Nathaniel.
Can we dance?
I like to dance.
There's like a 10-year-old meme, like... Yeah. So...
Let's cut to a clip of a lady falling down in front of an IKEA.
Oh! All right. Can't breathe. Yep. So...
I feel like this is a good spot to end this review.
This general discussion, if you will.
So, before we finish this review, I always like to end with our 3 questions that we always ask. So, Ben, what was your favorite part of the film?
My favorite part of the film... It's the cannon part. It's the part we didn't talk about.
Yes, so we didn't talk about the cannon.
It has great tension. There's a small car on the back of Buster Keaton's.
It's about to go off.
Train, exactly. It's about to go off. It tilts towards him. You think he's going to get hit. But then something happens. Watch the film.
Yes.
If you haven't already, you've gotten to the end of this. But it's a great effect. It's a great thing to see. It's a great tension reliever and building. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
And what is your favorite part?
My favorite part will have to be when he's on the train. In front of the train. My favorite part is when he's on the train. No, when he's holding the big piece of wood and he knocks the other piece of wood out of the way with it. To me, that is just, it's both a marvel of stunt film and also a marvel of comedy, because it's funny. There's tension there. It's actually pretty funny when you watch it.
How? It could have fucked up so bad.
It could have, and but I mean, you kind of think about it, the train has that thing on the front of it for a reason, because it will push it out of the way. Yeah. But, like, still, just the comedicness of it. So, alright, your least favorite part of the film?
My least favorite part of the film, I'm still not a big fan of the war after the collapse. I feel like there has been a catharsis a bit already, so bringing in the war afterward, I don't know. Yep. Obviously, you gotta have it. I just felt... maybe do the war, then collapse the bridge. Exactly, because if you want to have him be like a savior of a war, right? Why is the war still going on? Right. Kind of thing. I will not like the part of it makes me uneasy just because it is, but it's the little spat of domestic violence. I believe he also slaps her. Also, yeah, I think so. But yeah, that's just not something that I like. All right, so in total, how did this movie make you feel? Oh, geez, I really want to be a train conductor from the South. I want to be a train engineer. Trains are interesting. Someone once asked me, why are children so interested in trains? Because of the 2 DVD set, which we'll cut to a clip of right now. So hop on board and get 2 great tapes for 1 great prize. Oh, it comes with a bonus disc of sing-along train songs. Yes, we're on the train, and we sit on the train. And the train goes forward, and the train then stops, and you get off the train, and you go to your hotel, and the hotel says, you didn't make a reservation, so you pay up the ass for a single room with a king bed, but you have a family of 5, so you all have to pack in. It's also a smoking room, which is also an inconvenience. A hotel right next to a train station would be sucked.
Well, no, you walk through a city to get to it.
You walk through a city with your whole family.
I thought that was implied, I'm sorry.
It could be near it still. How did it make you feel? Like that? It made you want to sing, apparently.
Yeah, it was... I mean, the whole movie just made me feel tense, and I love that. Just the tension that was building throughout the whole thing. The whole thing.
The whole thing. No, it's not. Don't.
I like to dance.
It's a common theme that we've been talking about.
It is.
This tension and release of comedy.
Exactly.
It's an ebb and flow. It's a rhythm we've got to get into.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, guys. So join us next week when we discuss a masterpiece in talkie cinema.
We're going into the talkies, boys.
You're gonna talk, and we're gonna
ladies
talk about
and
it. So next week we're not gonna talk about Duck Soup.
We're gonna live it.
We're gonna live it, and we're gonna sit, and we're gonna cry.
So if you haven't seen Duck Soup,
yes, featuring the Marx Brothers.
All four of them.
Harpo, Chico, Groucho, and
Zeppo,
and Bibi.
Everyone's favorite Bibi.
And Bibi. Blinky, Pinky.
Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde.
And Bluto. and Blue Boy.
And Mr. Blue.
And Mr. Blue.
And Michael Madsen.
And Michael Madsen. Let's cut to a clip.
I like to dance.
And I don't know tonight.
Yeah, let's get to a clip of those trains again, just to end it off.
Smoking trains!
Wow.
Alright, guys, you guys have a good time. Enjoy it.
Watch Good Time and watch Duck Soup.
You turkeys.